We are just 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, and I have got the help of Brian Baldinger to help with my case of what the Eagles should do at pick number 12. All that and more coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you believe it?
Sports.
Can you feel it? Can you feel that excitement? The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium and make you look stupid and get a Giants W.
Music.
Wow.
Whoa! Shit.
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? Spineless?
Mike.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Eagles News Now podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, the good brother of Broad Street and the fantasy football champion of the big league. And today we're going to talk about what the Eagles are going to do at pick number 12. Now, if you're already a subscriber, you know I absolutely love Brian Baldinger's takes. This guy studies film and breaks it down like nobody else, and he speaks the truth. And today I'm going to take a look at some footage that he put up about what the Eagles should possibly do at pick number 12, because I share the exact same opinion.
There's a dearth. There's a dearth of talent in the offense. I'll put an asterisk next to it because when you watch them last year, there was a lot of rookies and first-year players. And so you got to give them a chance to develop. But this was the Eagles' offense at the end of the season last year. There was way too much of this. I mean, if you can't beat man coverage and you're a receiver in this business, you're not really doing your job. And so here's Jalen Hurts buying time. Still not a whole lot of separation to throw the ball. And there was just too much of this, Mike, where he's just scrambling for his life, just trying to get a positive gain. But you watch this over and over and over again. I mean, against the Cowboys, week 16 right here. I mean, look down the field. Let's let the ball fly. To where? To who? Jalen Hurts running, scrambling, trying to buy some time. A lot of throwaways from Jalen Hurts just to get to the next down. Mirrored routes, popular thing for young quarterbacks. Pick a side, any side. Go right, go left. Well, there's not a whole lot there for Jalen Hurts to go to. Again, scramble, run around, throw the ball away, get to the next down. Look, in the second half against the Cowboys and Reds and the Washington football team at the end of the season, they didn't score a point. I mean, you look at this now. I mean, there's just no openings. They had to work this hard to get Greg Ward in motion here, to try to get him across the formation, to try to get somebody open, and they still couldn't complete the pass. It was pretty futile down the stretch there for the Eagles. I'm sure that Howie Roseman and his staff have looked at that carefully and need to upgrade in certain areas.
There you have it, guys. Those wide receivers, it was so painful watching and being reminded about how the wide receivers on the Philadelphia Eagles cannot get separation in man-to-man coverage. The routes are very sloppy. This wide receiving core is so bad. I mean, it showed exactly what Jalen Hurts had to do to try to get anything going. This is definitely a year where, even though Jalen Hurts can run, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a part where, like, look, the Dallas Cowboys secondary was abysmal last year. It was absolutely horrible, almost on historical level, and these Eagles wide receivers could not separate from the guys in the Cowboys secondary. Absolutely embarrassing, and if Jalen Hurts has a shot, or whatever quarterback that is in this offense with those wide receivers has a shot of being anything, there's got to be a change. There's absolutely got to be a change. Now, look, I think a couple guys that the Eagles have from last year's draft could end up being something. Obviously, Jalen Reagor, you hope, turns the corner this year. And I like Quez Watkins a lot. I've always liked Quez Watkins. He barely got a shot last year. But you need another piece. And, look, this is not a wide receiver-heavy draft. That's why I think the Philadelphia Eagles need to pick a wide receiver at 12. Now, look, that is only if Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith are there. That's how last year was a very wide receiver heavy draft. This year, not so much, guys. Not so much. Now, there's two glaring needs, not only wide receiver, but cornerback. We know that. We looked at J.C. Horn a little bit earlier on the channel, and a couple weeks ago, Patrick Surtain. Look, those guys are going to be studs in the NFL, and I get it. It's going to be hard to let them pass you, but this is a cornerback, at least in my opinion, a cornerback-heavy draft where you can maybe even get a Caleb Farley. A lot of people are going to laugh at me for this take. You can maybe get Caleb Farley in the second round. You can get a guy like Greg Newsome in the second round. Asante Samuel Jr. should be there in the second round. I mean, there are guys, Elijah Molden. There's so many different cornerbacks in this draft that I think are going to immediately help the Tyson Campbell from Georgia. Guys that are going to immediately help the Eagles secondary, because the Eagles secondary is bad. But I think there's a number of these guys that will help. As far as wide receiver goes, if you just draft another wide receiver, a wide receiver in the second round or a wide receiver in the third round, they might just end up being another, just part of a group of guys. I want a stud superstar that can make this wide receiver core a little bit better, and I know that it's a tough task even for one person, but I think if Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle is there at 12, the Eagles absolutely have to take one of them. Now, look, is Howie Roseman going to hit on every single one of these draft picks?
Hell no.
Of course he's not. I don't know if he's going to hit on any of them with his track record. However, I will feel damn good if a Heisman Trophy winner like Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle, who people are calling the next Tyreek Hill, is a Philadelphia Eagle. Absolutely. And look, at the same hand, J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain, I will be happy with them as well. But I'm looking at an Eagles offense that is going to be absolutely terrible if you don't bring in some help. And they really have not done that, obviously, with free agency because they have no money to spend. They're broke as a joke. Bringing back Jordan Howard, who thought his career was done, which doesn't make me feel so great, isn't doing anything and isn't helping Jalen Hurts, who half the city is on board with and half the city is not on board with. His success depends on the people around him. And also, look, Coach Nick Sirianni, if he's got a chance of surviving here, you're going to have to give him some help as well. And it starts with a guy like Waddle or Devonta Smith. Now, we're talking about coaching. Look, Jonathan Gannon had other coaching opportunities and chose to come to Philly, so he might have a little bit more say in that draft room than Nick Sirianni does, which might be why the Eagles used the little bit of money they had during free agency to bring in a linebacker from the Vikings and Eric Wilson, who Gannon is very familiar with. And also, they brought in the safety from the Vikings, too. So defensive players have been brought in, and he might get a say in the draft room, like I said. But I don't know. Guys, this is a pick that cannot be messed up. It absolutely cannot be. I still don't even know if they're going to stay at 12, but if they do, guys, I think it's got to be wide receiver. Leave your comments below. What do you think? I know a lot of you are on board with corner, and again, I wouldn't be unhappy with that, but I just feel like wide receiver, again, is a pressing need. You need to right the wrong of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the wrong of Jalen Reagor, because I don't think Jalen Reagor is a number one guy. I just don't think he is. Hell, he might be an awesome slot receiver or a good number two, but he's just not a number one guy. I'm sorry, he's not. I know he dealt with injuries and all that, but he's just not. So get a number one in here. That's my opinion. As we're 2 weeks away, we'll be in the reaction room looking at some different players, some sleepers I'm going to look into in the next coming weeks before the draft. And then we got the big draft live stream right here on Eagles News Now. Again, thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button if you like what you see. Also, leave your comments, good or bad. I like them all. And with that being said, here's the tagline: stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later. Let's pour one out for somebody that his music has been influential to everyone in the sports world, the world in general, that being the late, great DMX. This one's for you, buddy.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.